Cowbird, Chapter 26. The Article. "Oh my gracious!" Bridget exclaims when I finally arrive in my room, soaked to the bone. She alternates between undressing me and preparing the bath, simultaneously horrified at my state and determined to assist me. "Just look at you, miss! I knew it would be like this. I was so worried when you didn't come back with the others. I nearly had them send the guard out to look for you. Jove, just look at the state of your stockings." Bridget chatters at me without stopping, and the sound reminds me vaguely of a squirrel. I can't seem to focus on a single word. My mind is still back there. That man at the fountain. Who was he? A Kurzrift prince? The King Wolfgang himself? How could one man's presence be so commanding? Only this morning I sat in with the actual King of Ritonia and did not tremble. Why should I be so frightened of a complete stranger? My hand is ice where I touched his trouser leg. All my body is ice, but my hand especially. It's like the very bones within me have traded for cold iron and can never be healed. I must be crazy, I murmur to myself. I must be losing my mind. He was just a man. An arrogant, rude man. Why on earth did I bow before him? It's this day, I decide, watching the rain pour down outside the window. This strange, depressing day. I was caught up in the atmosphere, in the rain and the cold and the mist. I imagined him as a god, and not as a man. I'm frightened. I'm all alone and I'm frightened. I hate all of this so much. I want to leave this place and forget today ever happened. Get me out of here, Hugh. Hugh. My uncle, I say, shivering, teeth chattering. Miss Frances? My uncle said he'd let me leave with Hugh. Find Hugh, Bridget. Hugh Bailey. Find out where he is. I'll do my best, Miss Frances. Hugh's all that matters to me. Nothing else matters. Bridget finishes peeling the wet layers from my body and ushers me straight to the bath. The hot water soothes the cold and dulls my senses. Suddenly I'm so exhausted I can hardly keep my eyes open. And more than once the maid has to shake me awake before I drown myself. Leaving the tub in a daze, I'm only vaguely aware of going through the motions of dressing before collapsing into bed. Without needing to be asked, Bridget pulls the curtains and plunges the room into darkness. By the time she's tiptoed away, I'm already sound asleep. Fear haunts my dreams, a senseless terror. Ghouls that prey upon exhausted victims. I'm trying to find a place to escape them and rest, but every time I find a bed another monster comes, and I must run once more. There's no fighting it. There's no escaping. The hand in the shadows. The hand that hunts and will not stop hunting. Not until I'm dead. I wake with cramps and a splitting headache. I'm so thirsty I feel I might die. It's dark and I stumble around for a minute, looking for a lamp. Finding one, I pull the cord to switch it on, illuminating the room in a soft orange glow. My eyes go first to the clock on the wall. 4:55. I slept the whole afternoon away, and now it's evening. I don't know why the realization should depress me utterly. Hugh. Tears well in my eyes. Hugh, where are you? I miss you so much. I feel so lost in this place without you by my side. I feel so vulnerable. The door creaks softly open then, and Bridget pokes her head in. You're awake, she says in a low voice. Will you bring me some water? I answer, voice creaking. And something for a headache. Right away, she says softly, and disappears for a short minute before appearing again with the requested items. I refresh myself while she draws the curtains. I see the rain has not stopped, and the sky is darkening with the onset of night. Shall I bring you something to eat? Yes, please. Once more Bridget disappears, only to reappear in short order with a plate of cold pâté sandwiches, orange slices, and cookies. I wolf it all down so voraciously it leaves her chuckling nervously. Gracious, shall I bring seconds? With no small amount of willpower, I resist the urge to accept her offer. Eating too much will dull my senses, and something tells me I'll need all my wits about me in this place. Are you quite well? Bridget fusses over me, taking my temperature with her hand. You were so wet and miserable when you got back. I thought for sure you'd catch cold. Miraculously, I seem to be just fine, minus the headache, of course, but that's just standard with the first day of my period. She really couldn't have picked a better day to come. Ugh. I just want to stay in bed with a hot water bottle for the rest of the evening and forget about everything else. But I can't do that. I need to learn where they're keeping Hugh. I need to go to him and to be with him. What of his injury? Who's looking after him? I need to know these things, or I won't be able to rest. Bridget, were you able to find out where they're keeping Hugh? I spoke with security who spoke with Secret Service. They said they will send for you once they finish debriefing him. How long will that take? I don't know, miss. I want to cry, but I hold it back, doing my best to be strong. Perhaps sensing this, hesitantly Bridget sits down beside me and puts a comforting arm around my shoulder. I don't know how to respond. Sadness was something I've always dealt with on my own. I'm not used to kindness, to an innocent girl's sympathy. Besides grandfather and Earl, the only one who ever held me while I cried was Hugh. Tears. I can't stop them. An ugly sob. It's embarrassing, but Bridget doesn't turn me away. Instead, she holds her arm around me soothingly, shushing me in a very motherly sort of way. It's not so bad, I think distantly. Even kind of nice. Maybe if I cry like this for a while, I won't feel so awful inside. But a sharp knock cuts into this thought, and I sit up abruptly, wiping the tears from my face while Bridget scurries around to open the door. I recognize the King's Chamberlain from this morning, though I do not recall his name. He wears a scowl of disdain as he addresses me. His Highness has called a family meeting, madam. He requests your presence at once. I jump up, chagrined. I must look a ghastly sight. But there's nothing I can do with the Chamberlain waiting at the door to escort me. Bridget stops me long enough to smooth my gown and hair. I never brushed it after the bath, but fortunately it's in moments like these that straight hair shines. All on its own it lays flat. No tangles, no waves. Wiping my eyes one last time so they're dry, I straighten my back and follow after the Chamberlain. There's a lump in my throat as he leads me back to the blue room where I met the king earlier today. It's painful, but I do my best to swallow it down. Inside the blue room is darker than it was this morning, lit only by a single lamp and a fast-darkening sky outside the window. Cecil sits at the head of the table with a woman on either side of him, one older, one younger. The younger, of course, I know is my cousin Lillian. The elder is also familiar to me, but only from photographs. The Queen Mother, Teresa Patel, my grandmother. Have a seat, Francesca, Uncle commands me, and I move hesitantly to the side of the table where Lillian sits, leaving one seat open between us. I expect you know why I've called this meeting, says Cecil, gesturing to an unopened newspaper atop the big table. Curious, I glance at the headline, and blanch. Rightful heir appears, it reads, together with my picture from the funeral procession today. Just the caption under the photo is enough to give me heart palpitations. The mysterious woman attending the funeral confirmed to be King Leon's only child and heir. I want to die. God, I want to die. I look up horrified, only to be met with my uncle's black scowl. I have to make some excuse to him. I have to say something. But what? What can I possibly say now? You spoke with a reporter, he accuses simply, and I have no defense. I didn't mean to. He hounded me. I didn't know what to do. I said a few things without meaning to, and then I ran. I'm sorry. You idiot! He explodes. You little fool! Do you have any idea the damage you've done? He shouts, and I shrink beneath his temper. But his display is cut short when the Queen Mother slaps the table with her open palm, startling us both. Do not be hard on the girl, Cecil. She hasn't been trained yet how to handle the press. There shouldn't be any press, he cries, outraged. No one should even know of her existence, and they wouldn't. He turns his furious glare onto Lillian. If someone hadn't announced it to the whole damn palace last night. I told you, Father. I searched for you to ask what ought to be done for the arriving princess, but you were nowhere to be found. I only did what seemed proper. I thought I raised you with more sense than that, he snarls. And you! He turns his rage now on his mother. Insisting that she walk in the procession. Saying a veil would be enough to obscure her identity. See now where your sentimentality has landed us. Us? Teresa cuts him off coldly. You are mistaken, Cecil, if you imagined I am threatened by this child. The king's face goes red. His frustration practically hums in the air and can be felt by everyone in the room. Still, these two women are not backing down. The Queen Mother speaks first. I shouldn't need to remind you that whatever the circumstances of her upbringing, she still carries the blood of Leon Patel. This article says it plainly enough. She is the rightful heir to the throne. It is how I see it and how the people will see it. The people do not know what they need, Uncle snarls. They think blood is all that matters. I, too, am of the bloodline Patel, and unlike this girl, I have the experience to back my claim to the throne. But it is not up to you. This is a matter that must be left to Parliament, and they may well decide you are merely a placeholder, Cecil. You must cease your indignation and accept that Francesca could one day become your sovereign. No! I cut into their dialogue, reeling. Every eye in the room turns to me, but I do not flinch beneath their glares. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Are we actually having this conversation? I don't want to be queen. I wouldn't accept the crown even if you forced it on my head. You may not have a choice, young lady, says Teresa, her gaze severe. But, I sputter, but this is ridiculous. How could I be queen? I'm not even a legitimate heir. I'm just a bastard. Who told you that? She demands. I look briefly to Cecil, whose face is stone. My bodyguard told me, after I was attacked in Bescart. I needed to know why those men were after me, and he told me everything. I'm sure he told you as much as he knew, but even your bodyguard did not have all the facts. I don't understand. You are no bastard child, Francesca, the Queen Mother says, and I can feel my stomach sinking down through the floor at her words. You were born in wedlock. You are Leon's rightful and legitimate heir.